Hello, and here is part 8 of the conversion of a vintage Hofner neck to a guitar. So there's the first hole drilled and the tuner inserted. It's good enough to do the assembly, so I'll carry on and do all 6. So, 6 holes and 6 tuners. I just need to lock them into place with the tiny wood screws. There are two of them for each machine head. So now I'm looking for a couple of strings, one a bit like a low E, and I believe I found one that will do the job, and one like a high E. And this one is extremely skinny. I've got this bag of strings I've just been collecting for years. I no longer know what they are, what they're from, but I've just run into a beautiful piece of workmanship. This is a Thomastic Infeld flat wound string, and you can't tell it isn't a single piece of polished wire, but it is in fact a wound string. Yeah, this camera's not going to be good enough to show off how amazingly well made these things are. These are from Vienna, and I imagine a sort of Brothers Grimm character with little half-moon glasses on his nose working in a Vienna workshop making these things. Jazz strings. So with the guide strings in place, using these kind of makeshift tuners, I threaded the 2 outer strings through the bridge, and with screws in place in the body holes, you can see them. Can you see there that there are screws in place? Yeah, I pressed the neck using the strings as a guide to its exact angle down onto those screws, and the points of the screws have made enough of a mark. It's very hard to see on camera. They've made enough of a mark for me to pencil them in and drill pilot holes for the neck to body screws. This time I'll use an actual Bradawl for making the pilot holes to drill into. Good. So now I can drill pilot holes for the screws. And the screws are these things. Stainless steel Phillips head screws, cross head screws. So this, I believe, is the right size drill for these wood screws going into hardwood. It's important to get the drill as perpendicular as possible. Not going to go too deep either. Feels strange drilling into this Probably quite a historic Hofner neck. But it's got to work or it's really almost worthless. Okay. They are not crosshead screws. They are Torx screws. But that's not going to stop me because I have a screwdriver set with Torx bits. So onwards and upwards. Just occurred to me that not everybody knows what a Torx bit and screw is. They're these things. Apologies for the sound of the fan heater, but it's absolutely freezing down here. So I'm driving these screws in without the body to make sure they do go in perpendicular and to cut a bit of a sort of self-tapped thread for each one. So I've just cleared the deck of all the screws and other sharp bits of metal, and I'm going to put these two things together, the body and the neck. Wishing myself luck. And do it the other way up. Okay. And turn it on its side and start driving the torque-headed screws in. Okay, that's one, and it feels like it's located fine. So I'm going to turn over. Can we see what's happening here? Just zoom in slightly. Okay, this seems to be working fine. Just trust that my measurements and trial and error has been accurate enough. Okay. This one is stiff. It's going in okay. Okay, I'm not going to tighten them down really hard, just a little. Oop. You can hear the sound of wood crunching slightly under the screw heads. Let's zoom out again, and you can see we now have a guitar. With some very makeshift and temporarily mounted tuners. Okay, that's the end of part 8. Thank you for watching.